Yes, what is your name and question?
Hello. Oh, talk about adding 10 pounds. My name is Lloyd. It's good to see you at Nerdist.com and at Nerdist. So there's your Instagram plug.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a picture to like... So you explained that you're expanding, and so I was wondering if you were going to dip your proverbial Nerdist pen into like feature films or like a structured script or a sitcom.
Oh, I'm going to dip my pen in it, all right.
What have we talked about with your pen?
We're talking about scripts. Sexy, sexy scripts. Movies are... It's obviously a very attractive proposition to expand into feature film, especially with Legendary as our parent company. There are a couple of really potentially big TV things that we're working on now that hopefully we'll be able to announce in San Diego. But the movie business, it's just a separate entity that I think we need a little bit of guidance for. I think part of the way that I'm trying not to screw all this up is by not trying to do too many things at once or not rush into things. I mean, we experimented a little bit last year with feature film distribution with Zero Charisma, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. Really, really well done.
Out now on DVD.
Now on DVD. But the movie process is so, like, television moves glacially. Like, it took 2 years for At Midnight to get on the air, right? And film, it can be like 4 or 5 years. So, we're starting to have those conversations now. It'll be really great. But film doesn't necessarily work the way that you think it would, where you go, well, because I would always be like, well, instead of spending $20 million on one movie, why don't you just spend $1 million and make 20 movies for $1 million but it doesn't really work that way, because with marketing and everything, it just, a $1 million movie actually ends up being like a $25 million movie. So, I don't know, we're talking about it, but I don't want to rush into it so we don't put out something crappy just to put out something, But yes, it's something, and my brain is drifting in that direction, yeah. I would love to do The Greatest American Hero. The rights to that we had William Catt on the podcast. I have the suit. So that means I should get to make the movie. But I don't know what's happening with it. I don't know. That Greatest American Hero. But I feel like whenever I say Greatest American Hero, there's only like 5 out of 1,000 people that know what I'm talking about. But if I was to go, believe it or not, I'm working on it. I never thought I could feel so bright. Do you have a question? Fly away.
Hi, my name is Danny.
Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's Danny.
Well done.
I knew I was going to get to sing with you one day.
So 5 years ago, when I was in Korea, my cousin showed me this StarCraft tournament on TV. And so the winner of the tournament was actually getting showered by underwear from his fans. So it was basically just grabbing out of the air. So it got so basically my question is, do you think American esports will ever get as big as it is in Korea?
Esports?
Are you just asking to get showered by underwear?
You just want people to throw underwear. I think esports is pretty big here, actually. I know that, didn't they sell out a couple of days at the Staples Center?
Yeah, League of Legends did.
Yeah, esports is pretty big here. I think it doesn't get a lot of mainstream coverage, but because of the audience for it, it doesn't really need mainstream coverage. It's pretty big.
That's what Twitch TV's for. I also think our relationship with getting underwear showered on us was much different than in Korea.
We didn't get that, yeah. I was playing League of Legends for a little while and getting stomped.
Yeah, I tried it, I stopped.
Stop feeding.
Yeah, and I just went back to Stick of Truth, which is amazing. You honestly should play Stick of Truth if you're over the age of 18. It's a very adult game. Some of the things that happened, I had to stop and just sort of describe them.
I actually spent at least an hour killing all of the parking meters, not realizing that they respawn.
Yeah, they respawn every time. Yeah, they respawn.
Came back out, and all of a sudden they were all back. I was furious.
You seem to be a bottle of sriracha?
Yes.
Good. What sort of a spicy question do you have for us today?
I'm wondering, what are your feelings about a potential Deadpool movie? Also, can I have a hug?
Can you have a hug? Sure. As far as Deadpool movie, great. I think that would be awesome. Jerry Duggan writes Deadpool, and I mean, he's great. I don't, if you're saying, would I do it? Sure. It doesn't mean that someone's gonna let me. My mom used to tell me all the time, like, you should be on that Frasier show. I'm like, great, I'll just tell them that you said that. And in classic nerd fashion, bring a note from my mom. Yeah, come on up to the barrier, and I'll...
As far as I know, a Deadpool movie is in development. There is a script out there, and they are looking to do more solo standalone stuff, but nothing has been officially confirmed. But I'd say it's very likely to happen in the future, especially given how popular Deadpool is.
Careful, don't squeeze too hard, it might squirt. Sriracha and the burrito. Together at last.
I love that he has a little bit of extra sriracha on the top. Really true to form.
Gives it very military. If you guys didn't notice, Chris's shirt says squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Squirrels, squirrels, squirrels at the tree house. What is your name, madam?
Hi, my name's Amy. I about a year ago found your podcast listening to Matt Smith and David Tennant when you interviewed him. Loved it, by the way.
Oh, they were great, yeah.
I actually, funny story, I was listening to it and I had just gone through Del Taco and gotten my burrito and it was finishing and you said, enjoy your burrito. I was like, oh my gosh, he knows I'm eating.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, where did that come from, the enjoy your burrito?
Oh, you can hear the origin of it. I think it's episode 10 maybe, but it's the first one with Rainn Wilson. Its origin is Jonah Ray. That Jonah told this story about how when Rainn is a very philosophical guy. He's a really interesting guy. And so we were talking about dissatisfaction, and Jonah said when he first moved to Los Angeles, he lived in San Pedro. And it's a harbor part of Los Angeles that most people don't even know is there. And so he said he used to eat at this taco shack every day, and his life was really crappy. He had no money, he didn't know anyone, he had moved out from Hawaii, I guess. And so he said the best part of his day was eating this one really great burrito. And he would get halfway through it and he would start to get depressed because he knew the burrito was about to be done and then his life was going to be sucky again. And so he said it wasn't until he learned to enjoy the burrito as it was happening that it took a lot of weight off his shoulders. And so at the end of that episode, we just sort of said as a sign-off, like, all right, enjoy your burrito. In other words, it basically is a metaphor for don't focus too much on the past or the future, just focus on the present and enjoy the process as it's happening. So that's ultimately what that means. You can hear that in episode 10, I think it's 10, yeah. It's whichever the first one with Rainn Wilson is, it's that one. It's the one where it's the one where Matt Myra's real personality started creeping out because in the first 5 minutes of the podcast, Matt said to Rainn, I stopped watching 6 Feet Under when you came on. We were like, oh man.